You'd be surprised how much someone can remember about you, not just because of what you said or even what you did, but because of where your hands went when things got intimate. If you think intimacy is only about passion, you're missing the truth. What makes someone crave you long after the moment is over isn't just the kiss or the closeness, it's the way your hands made them feel. And the beautiful part is, it doesn't take rehearsed tricks or complicated moves. It's found in the way your hands hold, guide, and touch with presence, because that's what people never forget. Touch is one of the most primal and powerful forms of communication we have. And when it comes to intimacy, your hands become more than just a physical tool. They are an emotional connector, a bridge that carries unspoken messages from you to your partner. Think about it. Before words were ever exchanged in human history, people understood comfort, danger, love, or fear through physical contact. That truth hasn't changed. In moments of closeness, the way you use your hands can say, "I'm here with you, I see you," or "I want you," without a single word being spoken. When you place your hand gently on someone, it creates a moment of reassurance. A soft touch on the chest can calm a racing heart. A tender caress across the cheek can bring someone back into the present, and holding someone's face while looking into their eyes can deepen connection instantly. The emotion behind your touch is what makes it unforgettable. If your mind is elsewhere, your partner feels it. If you are present, deliberate, and fully invested, they feel that too, and it becomes etched in their memory. Your hands become an extension of your emotional state, carrying your energy directly into their body. Hands are also incredibly versatile. They can soothe, they can excite, they can lead, or they can simply hold. For example, imagine the difference between a hand that is rushed, impatient, moving without awareness, and a hand that is deliberate, slow, exploring as if every inch of skin is worth noticing. The first can feel careless or mechanical, while the second communicates thoughtfulness, attention, and desire. This difference is not about technique alone, but about the intention behind it. When your hands say, "I want to connect with you," instead of "I want to get through this," the energy transforms the entire experience. Another important aspect is presence. Too many people underestimate the power of stillness. You don't always need movement to create connection. Sometimes placing your hand firmly on a partner's back, holding them close, or simply resting it on their arm in a way that grounds them is enough to ignite a flood of emotions. That steady touch carries weight. It tells them they are safe, desired, and valued. It tells them you are not in a rush to leave this moment. There is also something deeply personal about hands. Each person has their own unique way of touching. Some people have hands that feel nurturing, others have a more playful energy, and some carry a mix of fire and calm. What makes the difference is how tuned in you are. If you're aware of your partner's breath, their reactions, the subtle shifts in their body, then your hands will naturally respond in ways that make them feel seen and understood. It's not about rehearsed moves or copying what someone else told you to do. It's about noticing and responding, creating a rhythm between your energy and theirs. Ultimately, hands remind us that intimacy is not only physical. Yes, they move across skin, they explore, they stimulate, but more importantly, they transmit emotion. The memory someone carries isn't just of how you touch them, but of how you made them feel in that touch. When your hands speak love, attention, and presence, they leave an imprint far deeper than the physical. They connect to the heart, and that's what makes them unforgettable. When it comes to intimacy, one of the most overlooked yet unforgettable aspects is the balance between gentle exploration and firm intention. Your hands carry two very different but equally important energies, and learning how to blend them creates an experience that feels both tender and powerful. Gentle touch speaks of curiosity, care, and vulnerability. It's the kind of touch that tells your partner you want to learn them, explore them, and discover what makes them respond. Firm intention, on the other hand, speaks of confidence, decisiveness, and a willingness to lead. It reassures your partner that you are not uncertain or disconnected, but that you know what you want and how you want to guide the moment. Gentle Gentle exploration is about slowing down and allowing your hands to wander without a fixed destination. It's not about racing to the obvious places or rushing to ignite desire instantly. It's about treating the entire body like a landscape worth exploring, where every curve, every inch of skin carries potential for connection. Imagine your fingertips grazing lightly along the arm, down the back, across the stomach, or along the thigh. These touches may seem small, but they build anticipation. They create a sense of being adored and fully seen. What makes gentle exploration unforgettable is that it awakens the nervous system in ways that are subtle yet powerful. The lightest touch can send shivers across the body, heightening sensitivity and making your partner more responsive when the moment deepens. Firm intention is the counterbalance. Too much softness can feel hesitant, almost like you're unsure of yourself. Intimacy thrives when your partner feels not only cared for, but also wanted with certainty. This is where confident, purposeful movements come in. A steady hand on the small of the back pulling them closer, a firm grip on the waist that grounds them in your presence, or hands that hold them in place with intention. These gestures create a sense of security and desire at the same time. It's not about aggression, it's about decisiveness. When you show through your hands that you are both exploring and leading, your partner feels the safety of your strength and the vulnerability of your tenderness in one breath. The art lies in weaving these two approaches together. Too much gentleness and your partner may feel you're holding back. Too much firmness and the experience can lose its intimacy. But when you blend the two, when you alternate between feather-light touches that tease and firmer touches that ground, you create a rhythm that keeps your partner guessing and engaged. It mirrors the natural ebb and flow of intimacy, moments of soft vulnerability, balanced by moments of passionate certainty. This contrast is what makes touch unforgettable. The body remembers not only the physical sensation, but also the emotional roller coaster that came with it. Gentle exploration without intention can feel like drifting. Firmness without softness can feel like domination without care. Together, they form a language that says, I want to know you deeply, and I also want to lead you confidently. It's a dance of energies, one that makes your partner feel both cherished and desired. What they never forget is not just the way you touch them, but the way your hands carried both curiosity and command, softness and strength, vulnerability and certainty, all in the same experience. Your hands are more than an expression of desire. They are a form of guidance and reassurance that can completely transform how your partner experiences intimacy. When words might feel too heavy or unnecessary, touch can take over as the language that leads, encourages, and reassures. A well-placed hand can say, come closer, trust me, or you're safe with me without anything being spoken. It's in these moments that your hands become a compass, silently directing the flow of connection, while at the same time calming any doubts or insecurities that might exist in the background. Think about the subtle ways touch can guide. A gentle hand on the back can encourage your partner to lean in, to surrender to the moment. Holding the face with both hands while looking into their eyes can guide them toward deeper connection, reminding them of the intimacy that exists beyond the physical. When your hand rests on their chest with steady pressure, it can ground them, telling them they don't need to think or perform, only to be present. These small gestures of direction are not forceful, they're invitations. They don't demand, they encourage. That's what makes them so powerful and memorable. Reassurance is equally important. Intimacy, even in its most passionate form, is layered with vulnerability. Every person, no matter how confident they appear, carries a part of them that craves reassurance in closeness. Your hands can be that reassurance. A squeeze of the hand in the middle of the moment says, I'm here. Stroking their hair or resting resting your hand against their jawline tells them they are not just a body to you, they are someone cherished. These touches quiet the noise in the mind and allow the body and heart to open. When reassurance is woven into intimacy, it deepens trust, and trust is what transforms an encounter into a memory that never fades. The guiding nature of your hands also has another dimension: leadership. Many people don't realize how comforting it is to be led in intimacy. It doesn't mean taking control in an overpowering way, but rather creating a sense of direction that allows your partner to let go. When your hands move with certainty, you take away the need for them to overthink or second guess. You create a flow they can sink into, a hand that confidently moves theirs, a gesture that pulls them closer, or even just the pressure of your palm as you shift them slightly, all signal that you know what you're doing and where you want the moment to go. That leadership, when combined with tenderness, creates an irresistible mix of safety and excitement. What makes this unforgettable is not just the physical act of guidance, but the emotional impact it leaves. People don't only remember the intensity of passion, they remember how they felt in the moment. Did they feel safe, wanted, adored, free to let go of their guard? Your hands are capable of delivering all of that. They bridge the gap between action and emotion, turning physical closeness into a deeply personal connection. When you guide with your hands and reassure with your touch, you make your partner feel seen and protected in a way that lingers in their memory long after the moment has passed. Anticipation is one of the most powerful elements of intimacy, and your hands play a central role in creating it. Desire is not only about what is happening in the moment, but also about what is yet to come, and the way your hands move can heighten that tension until it becomes unforgettable. Too often, people rush through touch as though intimacy has a destination that must be reached quickly, but the most memorable experiences come from stretching time, from creating suspense, and from allowing your partner to feel that every movement has meaning. When your hands linger, pause, or tease, you are telling a story that keeps your partner captivated, eager for the next chapter. Anticipation begins with restraint. Your hands don't need to rush to the places your partner expects them to go. In fact, when you deliberately avoid those places, you intensify their sensitivity. A light stroke along the arm, tracing patterns on the back, grazing fingertips across the neck or collarbone. All of these are small acts that awaken the senses without immediately satisfying them. This gentle denial heightens awareness, and the body begins to crave more. The beauty of this approach is that it builds energy slowly, creating an upward spiral of desire that feels more powerful than something given too quickly. Another way your hands build anticipation is through unpredictability. If every movement is predictable, the experience can become mechanical. But when you vary the pace, the pressure, and the areas you explore, you create a sense of mystery. Maybe your hands move slowly one moment, then become firmer the next. Maybe they wander to unexpected places, tracing lines that surprise your partner and keep them guessing. That unpredictability keeps their attention fully engaged. They cannot drift away or lose focus because they are constantly wondering what you will do next. It's this curiosity that intensifies arousal, because the unknown is always more exciting than the expected. Timing is also crucial. The pauses matter as much as the movements. When your hand hovers just above the skin, when it slows down deliberately before moving further, you create tension that can feel electric. Those pauses act like commas in a sentence, giving weight to what came before and heightening the expectation of what is coming after. Even the act of pulling your hands away briefly can make your partner long for the return of your touch, making that next contact feel even more satisfying. Anticipation works on a psychological level as much as a physical one. It taps into imagination, and imagination is limitless. By moving slowly, by teasing, by creating suspense, you allow your partner's mind to race ahead, to fill in the blanks of what they think will come next. That mental buildup often becomes even more powerful than the physical act itself, and when the two finally meet, the intensity is magnified. Your hands become the conductor of that mental and physical symphony, controlling the rise and fall of desire with each deliberate choice. When anticipation is created through your hands, intimacy is transformed from a series of actions into an unforgettable experience. The memory lingers not because of how quickly desire was satisfied, but because of how long it was stretched, how much suspense was created, and how powerful the eventual release felt. Your partner remembers not only the physical sensations, but also the emotional journey your hands took them on, the story you told with touch, and the way you made every moment feel like it mattered more than the destination. Every person experiences touch differently, and that is why personalization matters so much during intimacy. Your hands are not meant to follow a script or a set of universal moves, because what feels unforgettable to one person may feel ordinary or even uncomfortable to another. The key is to treat touch as a conversation where you are constantly listening, responding, and adjusting to the unique signals your partner gives. Intimacy becomes extraordinary when your hands show that you notice what makes them react, that you are paying attention to the details of their body language, their breath, their subtle shifts, and then tailoring your touch to fit them. Personalization begins with awareness. Instead of rushing to do what you assume will work, slow down and observe. Does your partner lean into a lighter touch, or do they respond more intensely to firmer pressure? Do they shiver when your fingertips graze their skin, or do they relax when your palms hold them steady? Every reaction is feedback. When your hands adapt to that feedback, it creates an experience that feels designed specifically for them, not borrowed from something you heard or saw somewhere else. That sense of being truly seen and understood is what makes intimacy memorable. This awareness is not just about physical reaction, but also about emotional preference. Some people crave playful, teasing touches that keep them laughing and on edge. Others want grounding touches that provide reassurance and stability. Some may respond most powerfully when your hands are confident and leading, while others need more gentle exploration to feel safe. The art lies in realizing that personalization is not about guessing, it is about being curious and attuned. It is about letting your hands become an extension of your ability to listen without words. The impact of personalization goes beyond pleasure. It deepens emotional connection. When your partner realizes that you are not treating them like anyone else, that you are not relying on rehearsed techniques, but instead creating something unique for them, it strengthens the bond between you. They feel chosen, valued, and remembered. This sense of exclusivity makes the experience unforgettable because it cannot be replicated in the same way with anyone else. It becomes their moment, their memory, their story with you. Personalization also requires patience and experimentation. Not everything will work the first time, but the willingness to adjust shows care. If your partner doesn't respond strongly to one kind of touch, shift to another without hesitation or insecurity. That flexibility communicates confidence and presence. It tells them that you are not just focused on yourself, but invested in making sure they feel the best they possibly can. Over time, you begin to map out what works for them, building a kind of secret language through touch that only the two of you share. Another layer of personalization is timing. It's not just about where or how you touch, but when. Maybe your partner craves gentle strokes at the beginning, playful teasing in the middle, and firmer grounding toward the peak of intimacy. By noticing and matching these rhythms, your hands guide the experience in a way that feels deeply aligned with their natural flow. This synchronization creates harmony, making them feel like you are moving in perfect step with them, not forcing or holding back, but flowing together. Ultimately, personalization is what transforms intimacy from something physical into something unforgettable. Your hands become a reflection of your attentiveness, your curiosity, and your desire to make your partner feel like they are the only person in the world. That uniqueness is what lingers long after the moment ends, because it wasn't just about pleasure, it was about creating an experience that felt personal, irreplaceable, and entirely theirs. When it comes to creating intimacy that lasts in memory, one of the most powerful things you can do with your hands is to anchor the moment. Anchoring means finding places, gestures, or movements that not only feel good, but also carry emotional weight, and then repeating them in a way that imprints the feeling deeply into your partner's mind. The body and brain remember touch in ways words cannot, and when you linger in the right places or repeat certain touches consistently, you create a kind of signature that your partner associates only with you. This is what makes a moment replay in their memory long after it is over. Anchoring begins with presence. You cannot create something lasting if you are distracted or mechanical. When your hands touch with full attention, your partner feels it immediately. Let's say your hand rests on their chest and stays there as they breathe. The steadiness of your palm becomes grounding, telling them they are safe and cherished. The longer you hold it, the more powerful it becomes. Or imagine gently cradling the back of their neck, keeping it there while you kiss or hold them close. That simple, repeated gesture becomes an emotional anchor, something they will recall the next time they think of you. The consistency is what makes it unforgettable. Anchors are not only about static touch, they can also be about movement. Maybe it's the way your fingertips always trace slow circles on their arm, or the way your hand squeezes theirs gently at certain moments. When repeated across different encounters, these actions begin to hold meaning. They become shorthand for connection, comfort, and passion. Over time, the moment your partner feels that touch again, it triggers the emotions tied to it. This is how you create not just pleasure in the moment, but memories that resurface again and again. Another dimension of anchoring is combining physical pleasure with emotional presence. For example, if your hands linger in the places where your partner responds most strongly, you are telling them that you notice what excites them and you want to give them more of it. But if you also look into their eyes, whisper to them, or simply breathe with them while your hands stay there, the physical touch fuses with emotional intimacy. That fusion is what burns itself into memory. It is not only "this felt good," but also "this felt meaningful. I felt seen. I felt safe." That combination cannot be easily forgotten. Anchoring also thrives in contrast. If your hands are moving all over one moment, then suddenly stop and rest firmly in one place, that stillness becomes powerful. It signals to your partner that this place matters, this gesture is deliberate, and this is where you want them to feel you most. The sudden shift from movement to stillness magnifies the weight of that anchor, making it stand out in their mind. Anchors don't have to be dramatic. Often the smallest, quietest touches leave the deepest marks. With time, anchoring develops into something unique between you and your partner. It becomes a secret code of sorts, a private ritual that ties the two of you together. Every time your hand returns to that spot or repeats that gesture, it reignites the same emotions that were felt the first time. This sense of familiarity is not boring. It is powerful because it reminds your partner that your connection is consistent, intentional, and deeply personal. Anchoring through touch ensures that what you share doesn't fade into just another physical encounter, but becomes an experience they carry with them, replaying it in their mind with the same intensity they felt in the moment. At the end of the day, intimacy isn't about complicated tricks or memorized techniques. It's about presence, awareness, and the way you use something as simple as your hands to leave a lasting impression. Your touch can reassure, excite, guide, guide, build anticipation, and anchor a memory that lingers long after the moment is over. It's not the perfection of the act that makes someone never forget you, it's the intention behind it, the way you make them feel truly seen, desired, and safe in your presence. When your hands speak the language of connection, when they balance gentleness with certainty and personalize every touch to the person in front of you, you turn intimacy into something unforgettable. And that's the kind of connection that doesn't fade, it stays, because it's written not only on their body, but also in their heart.